Hello, wonderful interwebs! It is I, David, staggering of all the Hewletts, back with a burn and learn, and oh my gosh, few days off. It makes a huge difference. I missed it. Like, I really did miss it. Not the exercise. I missed having that uninterrupted time to learn. Like that, I dream of two things. Time to just, lose myself in learning, and time to sleep. And I often sleep dreaming of that. So I sleep dreaming of sleep. This is a burn and learn. This is my bid to stay alive and fit long enough to raise my amazing son, who should be home momentarily, and to enjoy the coming twilight years of my brilliant, beautiful wife, Jane, who's still in Berlin at the film market. I hate exercise. It's boring, so I like to learn something while I'm doing it, and like to share what I've learned with you in the sweatiest, most miserable, grumpy, self-indulgent way possible. If you don't see a video, it means I have not exercised, and you have not seen any videos, because I've had the flu, and it just kicked the living bejeebies out of me. It always does. I just get the man flu. I'm just a huge wimp, and as soon as the slightest indication of flu comes in, I just shut down. But I did have we did some really fun Twitch streams if you want to go check them out. Baz and I did a couple of, let's call them like plague streams or plague plays or whatever we're calling them, where we just got to play Fortnite, and I was just miserable. So, and looked like an Ewok in it. So go check those out. Speaking of videos, guess who's watching another Atlantis? We're watching our first Atlantis. We're watching Season 1, Episode 1, the first part of Rising, Atlantis Rising, the pilot. We're going to watch that on Sunday. It's going to be, again, on Twitch as normal, but questions and Q&As and shout-outs and stuff I'm going to take from the Patreon crew, so make sure you start, getting those into me via Patreon. If you're not on Patreon, maybe you should think about joining now and becoming a part of the fun. I'm taking anyone $5 and up are welcome to join us. There's also one-time donations as well. I've got that figured out. Please don't make it one time, but the idea is you only have to. It's not a recurring thing, so you can actually go to the link and do that. I'll put those up as well. I'm sorry, I'm just asking for money. I have no problems asking for money when it's not for me. I hate it when it's for me, but this really does let me do Tech Bandits. It allows me to buy the equipment and new toys and kits and microscope slides and pizza and all that kind of stuff that I need to do with the kids. Makes a huge difference, and obviously the more stuff I have access to, the more fun we have to play with. I've even got a line on a CNC printer, a CNC cutter right now, a router right now, which I'm really excited about. Little desktop one that I'm hoping we can play with, because there's a bunch of stuff the kids want to do with that. We had a great session on Friday. We called it Bandit Strike Back, because there was a teacher strike, so we had the Bandit Strike Back at my house. Hosted it here again, just got their favorite pizza, and we looked at some microscope slides. We did a little bit of tech autopsy, but then it just dissolved into a giant filming of fight sequences with lightsabers. So this is it. Like, I feel like the kids lead this stuff, and if their interest is piqued by the idea of filming little sci-fi things, perfect. Then I'm the perfect guy for that. So I let them do it. I'm going to look at the footage and see what we could do with it. Maybe get them started on some After Effects, Red Giant stuff, maybe some Cinema 4D. Who knows? I mean, whatever they want to do. But again, I think just as long as they're inspired, we can figure out a way to make them learn something in the process. I mean, because once you go down once you get into filmmaking, oh my gosh, there's so many things you can learn. So I'm trying to write this little speech for Let's Talk Science for their competition thing they've got coming up, and I'm really just like racking my brains for this stuff. But the reality is, I suddenly went, oh my gosh, why is STEAM and STEM stuff important to me in my career? Like, as an actor, you need to know everything. Like, you need to be curious and excited about everything, because you just never know what you're gonna play, and anything you've got to hold on to when you walk into an audition is an advantage. So. Speaking of auditions, Bratlett got all excited about a part that I went in for the other day, which he was so excited about because it shoots in LA, and it's like a pilot, so if it did go, it would shoot. And I told him it's a very, very long shot, but it was just kind of cute to see him get all excited about it. It was also really cute to see how much he hated doing the off-camera lines. So I think I'm safe. I don't think I've got an actor. I think I've got... well, he did have notes for me, so maybe a director. He's really good at giving me acting notes. Anyways, so there's that. The learn part of my Burn and Learn today, which is what I've been looking forward to for so long. I'm still not 100%, but I just had to get back on it today. I had to leap onto the torture device. I needed to. I couldn't do my full exercise. I did the full 65 minutes, or 66 minutes, but I I was set at 5 resistance for half of it, not 6 the whole time. I just couldn't do it. I didn't want to. I thought, don't overdo it. You're good. You're back into it. Don't kill yourself now. So I did that, and back into data science. This time dealing with, finished up foundations of statistics, which was great, but it was definitely getting into the heavy math and calculus stuff, and I need to sit down with that. So I went over it. I went back. I watched a couple of them a couple of times because I got 66 minutes to learn. Why not use it? I do need to sit down with it. I feel like I've got a good understanding, a general understanding, but the specifics and the equations and stuff are something that already escaped me. But just like the basic concept of that if you have enough data, it tends to fall into this bell curve. That there's a general distribution of data after you have a certain amount of it, and how much of our data falls into that, and the difference between whole number data and continuous data, where it could be anything in between as well. And it's just really neat. I mean, just little things like I didn't know that the bell curve thing was such a. I mean, I'd heard of the bell curve, but the idea that the bell curve could be applied to so many different things. And that the bell curve doesn't actually touch, it never ends. It's always just a little bit above the baseline, which I just thought was kind of cool because it indicates that the data really never ends, but everything under that curve adds up to 1, so you can figure out where you are in the scheme of things. It's fascinating. And as I say, and fascinating, and numbers. Just then that's what I got to look at because I get the concepts. I'm not sure that I can do the math at this point. But and now, having finished Fundamentals 1, I'm now into data management, which is again a little bit more step back, but very cool. The idea about like how do we, okay, you got data. But how do you make sure that you maintain the quality of that data? How do you make sure that data is secure? All of the aspects. How do you process that data? So it basically covers everything. I'm curious to see how far they go into it. But again, I'm loving the LinkedIn courses. I love it. I tried doing it when I was sick, just without the exercise, and weirdly, I'm finding it hard to do that now because I get distracted. First off, and I feel guilty. I feel guilty just sitting there watching a video. Even if it's learning, and that's the beauty of the burn and learn. That's all I'm just going to say. The elliptical machine, my torture device, is squeaking away happily, but I don't know. I mean, I'm worried it's going to fall apart, but it's still going so far, and so am I. So that's it on that. The one thing I should say is we have a Stargate viewing party date this Sunday. We're going to do another live viewing party where you set it up. You watch it on your machine, we watch it on our machine, and then I will just chatter throughout. I'm opening this up to everyone the same as before with a Twitch stream, but I want to make sure that I do shout outs to my Patreons, and I want to make sure that if they want me to address any questions or anything, that they do that. So go to Patreon if you're not a member, sign up for the $5 level. Or more for that matter. And money's all going to Tech Bandits, keeps that Tech Bandits thing going. I had them over for Friday again this week. Pizza and microscope. So there's pizza and slides. That's all the stuff you're paying for. All these things they get through, and the many things they break. All the little robot parts I have to repair or replace. Some kids just like to stand on things. I don't exactly know why. It was an amazing session, actually, though, I should say, because we did a little bit of tech autopsies. Then we went into some microscope stuff where we looked at the gecko skin under the microscope because it sheds its skin all the time. So I always keep it. So I got a bag of gecko skin. You shove it under the microscope. It looks so cool. I'm gonna get some grasshopper parts that came in a slide thing. We got yeast under there. Started looking at yeast. I think the yeast may have been a little past its best before date because it wasn't doing a lot, but it's kind of cool to look at it under the slide. We've got this really cool old medical microscope that I use that I've got to get cleaned. Another thing that the money would go towards because there's a couple of the the lenses are all, there's nothing in there. So, I mean, I can't see anything through them. So I have a feeling there may be, apparently you can get like a microscope fungus thing. Anyways, look at that under a microscope. You can't see through it as it turns out. So, so there's that. So yes, please sign up to the $5 level so you can get your questions answered or your quotes said or whatever it is that you want to throw at me for the stream. I will sort of choose them on the fly probably, but make sure you get to me on Patreon about that. I also have a one-time donation thing too. I mean, please don't make it a one-time donation. Feel free to do it more than once. But the idea being is instead of having to sign up for a monthly thing, if you got $5 and you want to throw it at us for one of these screenings, then that would be fantastic. I have that as well. So so that's the state of things here. I had better get myself cleaned up because my son will be home soon and will probably want dinner. Although I think we'll do popcorn. I like to buy the microwave popcorn and you mix it with the caramel popcorn and it's so good. And will not be happening as soon as Jane gets back. So, there's that. Until we geek again, sweaty or not, here I come. Cheerio! Bye-bye!